headwinds in her view. But in that letter, she also told those staffers that the fight against the Donald Trump presidency begins now. Unclear if Vice President Harris will go that far. We understand that we do expect her to strike a more unifying tone. But again, these supporters here, we do see some cheering behind me. I'm told that Tim Walz is
there he is,
on
taxi
stage,
guy.
and I'm going to send it back to you, Lester.
Yeah, we're looking at Tim Walz now appears to be at the foot of the stage. We assume he will stand with the vice president when she makes her remarks.
And for him, somebody who has made this turn onto the national stage, did you know, 2 months ago, did most of America know who Tim Walz was? If you lived in Minnesota, maybe, right? But now, obviously, he has become a national figure in the audience for this speech. As you see some of the family members start to file in, the hugs, the sunglasses, the crowd here at Howard University.
Last time we saw many of them together was, of course, at the Democratic National Convention.
Yeah, and I think different vibe. Raises an important point because Tim Walz joined the ticket. I think many Americans didn't know who Tim Walz was. And you didn't see the sort of traditional media blitz that you would expect from him.
All right.
Wait. More Americans are familiar with him.
The vice president has just been announced. We expect to see her in just any second now as she will approach the podium. Again, her family, her running mate there.
There she is.
Here is Vice President Kamala Harris.
You're a loser. She's live right now. She's live on Twitch with a selfie stick. Yo, what's up, guys?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. So let me say, and I love you back. And I love you back. So let me say, my heart is full today. My heart is full today, full of gratitude for the trust you have placed in me, full of love for our country, and full of resolve. The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, but hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright.
That's all you fucking got? What are you crying about, you stupid liberal?
As we never give up, and as long as we keep fighting.
You lost. What fight? You lost. Why is she crying?
To my beloved Doug and our family, I love you so very much. To President Biden and Dr. Biden, thank you for your faith and support. To Governor Walz and the Walz family, I know your service to our nation will continue.
W. Walz.
And to my extraordinary team, to the volunteers who gave so much of themselves, to the poll workers and the local election officials, I thank you all. Look, I am so proud of the race we ran.
If you were a woman, you would feel the depressed circumstances that way too. I know, I'm trolling.
And the way we ran it, over the 107 days of this campaign, we have been intentional about building community and building coalitions, bringing people together from every walk of life and background. united by love of country, with enthusiasm and joy in our fight for America's future.
Bro, the futures are looking great right now.
And we did it with the knowledge that we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Now, I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory.
You're so stupid.
I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
Boo! Karma! We want content!
A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept
Stop being so
the results.
fucking boring. Jesus, come on.
That principle, as
We
much
want a
as any
war.
other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny. And anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it. At the same time, in our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States. And loyalty to our conscience and to our God. My allegiance to all three is why I am here to say, while I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign. The fight for freedom, for opportunity, for fairness, and the dignity of all people. A fight.
I like how chat your
the
question mark and you're like,
ideals
what is
at
she
the
supposed to
heart
say?
of
You
our
wanted her to say,
nation.
yeah, I lost, this sucks, and
The
I'm out. Like,
ideals
peace.
that reflect America at our best.
What do you want her to say?
That is a fight I will never give up. I will never give up the fight for a future where Americans can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations, where the women of America have the freedom to make decisions about their own body.
Like, do you want her to call, like, be like, yo, America, you're retarded, and just drop the mic? 'Cause that would be pretty sick.
We will never give up the fight to protect our schools and our
retards.
streets from gun violence. And America, we will never give up the fight for our democracy, for the rule of law, for equal justice.
Wait, Britt, what'd you
and
say?
for the sacred idea.
Wait, Britt, did you hear the good news?
That every one of us, no matter who we are or where we start out, has certain fundamental rights and freedoms that must be respected and upheld.
Take your fucking mask off.
And we will continue to wage this fight in the voting booth, in the courts, and in the public
Take
square.
that muzzle off.
And we will also wage it in quieter ways, in how we live our lives, by treating one another with kindness and respect, by looking in the face of a stranger and seeing a neighbor, by always using our strength to lift people up, to fight for the dignity that all people deserve. The fight for our freedom
I'm doing whatever you're doing.
will take hard work. But like I always say, we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work can be joyful work.
I don't think she's winning over the crowd with that.
And the fight for our country is always worth it. It is always worth it. To the young people who are watching, it is... I love you. To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed, but please know it's going to be okay. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win. The important thing is don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place. You have power. You have power. And don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible because it has never been done before. You have the capacity to do extraordinary good in the world. And so to everyone who is watching, do not despair. This is not a time to throw up our hands. This is a time to roll up our sleeves. This is a time to organize, to mobilize, and to stay engaged for the sake of freedom and justice and the future that we all know we can build together.
Yep.
Look, many of you know I started out as a prosecutor, and throughout my career, I saw people at some of the worst times in their lives. People who had suffered great harm and great pain, and yet found within themselves the strength and the courage and the resolve to take the stand, to take a stand, to
jail
fight
people for weed?
justice, to fight for themselves, to fight for others. So let their courage be our inspiration. Let their determination be our charge. And I'll close with this. There's an adage an historian once called a law of history, true of every society across the ages. The adage is, only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. I know many people feel like we are entering a dark time, but for the benefit of us all, I hope that is not the case. But here's the thing, America, if it is, let us fill the sky with the light of a brilliant, brilliant billion of stars. The light of optimism, of faith, of truth, and service. And may that work guide us, even in the face of setbacks, toward the extraordinary promise of the United States of America. I thank you all. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. I thank you all.
That's it. It's over. He's done. It's done, boys.
Vice President Kamala Harris, her husband Doug Emhoff, at the conclusion of about a 15-minute speech. The vice president saying that she does concede the race to Donald Trump, but she says, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign, which includes a dignity for all people. If this was a speech, I'll addressing the panel here at large and I'll get you guys to weigh in. This was a speech that did not signal someone who was going to fade away. that in her words, this fight will continue.
Yeah, do the work is her message, right? Get out there, keep fighting for what Democrats believe in, keep doing it even in the face, as she said, of setbacks here. As you saw her come out and talk about first words there, her heart is full, she said, right? Trying to portray that
what could she
positivity
possibly
that
do,
she
though?
closed her campaign with, saying she feels a lot of gratitude for this moment, but being very clear about what Democrats need to do here, which is continue to keep up the fight against, obviously, the Trump administration, although she talked about a peaceful transfer of power is going to be essential. They will help, she says, the incoming president-elect and vice president-elect
she's the VP
in
for like
this
3 more months.
transition, which is going to be a critical moment.
Yeah, the peaceful transfer of power. I mean, it's not lost on anyone, of course, that the person that just beat her denied the results of the 2020 election. So there was an admonition, Kristen, built into this.
Absolutely. And she made sure to say that when she called President-elect Donald Trump, she stressed the importance of a peaceful transfer of power, and that being critical to our democracy. I also thought it was interesting. You asked the question while we were waiting for the vice president to speak. How would she look back on this campaign?
Yep.
What would she say about the race that she ran? She said, I'm proud.
Do you guys
of the
think that
race
she did a bad
we
job?
ran
I think she
and
did a
the
pretty good job.
way We ran it. Really,
Like,
defending
I'd probably say the worst
the
thing she
fact
did
that
was
she
probably
was,
give a
as
bunch
you
of Twitch
just heard
streamers
her
money
say,
to do exclamation
fighting
point
for
vote. But
something
other than that, I
larger,
think she did a pretty good
freedom,
job.
Opportunity, fairness, dignity of all people. You're absolutely right. Sounds like someone who
She's a
does
cunt.
not plan to fade away, and would not be surprised if we saw her on the campaign trail.
Name one thing she
And
said.
Lester, on that point,
Yo.
two thoughts. First, I'm sure.
I don't know, but I
wonder
just heard
if
about
there
her
are
a lot.
Democrats out there wondering where was this Kamala Harris for those 100 days. We wish we would have seen more of that candidate right there who delivered that speech. That's number one. Number two, we know who the head of the Republican Party is, right? It's President-elect Donald Trump. We know who the heir apparent is. It's J.D. Vance, the vice president-elect.
Do you think if Trump didn't get shot that she would have won? Or do you think it didn't matter? No. You still think he would have won no matter what?
Hold off that red wave in 2022. They're facing a red tsunami now. So which Democrat's going to stand up to that red tsunami and change votes? Is it Hakeem Jeffries? I don't know. Maybe it's an outsider. Maybe the Democrats have to go outside their party like the Republicans did. We don't know.
We saw Governor Walz fighting back tears at one point, along with her family. Obviously, a very emotional moment.
It was incredibly emotional, and I think Tom raises a really interesting question, and it speaks to how this process all unfolded.
I don't like seeing Tim Walz
The
upset.
fact that there
I'll be
was
real.
no primary. President Biden stepped down after that really tough debate performance, and Vice President Kamala Harris was able to essentially solidify support within the Democratic Party around her. There are some within the Democratic Party who will question.
Chat, did you vote Trump or Kamala? I'm honestly curious because a lot of you seem like you fucking hate Kamala. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. My entire chat is Trump. Jesus Christ. You got Asmon's chat? What do you mean? He's live right now. That's insane. I expected something. I guess from the Rumble deal? Like, what's going on from that? Your chat's a bunch of retards. See, but I don't know if you voted Trump or you voted Kamala, because both sides call each other retards. So I don't know who's who.
Popular vote for the first time since he's ever run for president. Something like, I'll defer to you on the board here. I haven't checked the popular vote in an hour, but 71+ million people across America backed President-elect Trump and not Vice President Harris. So to your point, Lester, I think that comes into play here. I also think about the
most of you
timeline
aren't even
here,
American.
that this grappling process for Democrats is going to take a while. And what may be determinative to some degree is going to be control of the House of Representatives. If Democrats are able to establish a bulwark against what they see as the sort of agenda that they do not believe in from the Republican-controlled Senate and the Republican-controlled White House, that gives them an opportunity to
Yap. All right, is there anything else that's interesting that happened? I mean, I would say Kamala's speech was pretty good. I don't know what you guys expected when you're spamming like question marks. I mean, like shit happens. Trump's speech pretty fucking nasty. I mean, getting Dana White up there and shouting out Aiden Ross was definitely sick.